Everyone please stand to the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
On January 2nd, 2020, notice of this meeting was emailed to the Courier Post newspaper and duly posted on the bulletin board of the municipal building. All requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act have been met in compliance with the Sunshine Law. Roll call, Fran?
Councilman DeAngelo?
Here.
Councilman Casey?
Here.
Councilman D'Angelo?
Here.
Councilman Wilhelm?
Here.
Councilman Haggerty?
Here.
Councilman Bider?
Here.
Mayor Stallner?
Here. This time, I entertain a motion for approval of the meeting minutes for the meeting of April 23rd, 2020.
So moved. Second.
Motion made and second. Fran?
Councilman DeAngelo?
Yes.
Councilman Casey?
Yes.
Councilman D'Angelo?
Yes.
Councilman Wilhelm?
Yes.
Councilman Haggerty?
Yes.
Councilman Bider?
Yes.
Okay, under communications, just make notation of it, we do have proclamations we'll be issuing out. And the first one is for the Department of Public Works. They are honored the week of May 17th to the 23rd. And it is National Public Works Week, and it starts here. And that would be recognizing all of our public works departments and thanking them for a job well done. And also this year marks the 60th Annual National Public Works Week, sponsored by the American Public Works Association. Thank you to the Public Works Department. Also, we have a proclamation for Emergency Medical Services Week, that being the same, May 17th to May 23rd, where their slogan is EMS Strong. And we thank them for their hard work and dedication that they provide to all of us and to the Borough of Belmar. And we will forward that on to them. Also, tonight we are presenting a proclamation in honor of National Gun Violence Awareness Day, which this year falls on June the 5th. So we're declaring that day to be National Gun Violence Awareness Day here in the Borough of Belmar. And we will forward a copy of this proclamation on to the committee that sent this to us from the Borough of Belmar. Okay. Any other communications, Fran?
No, that's all, Mayor.
Okay. This time we'll go to committee reports. Councilman D'Angelo?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. The Highway Department report, trash and recycling. With many of the residents being out of work or being home unemployed due to the coronavirus, we're experiencing a drastic increase in trash recycling. The division has been assigned additional manpower and equipment to accommodate this. Guys are working really hard. They're tough. They're doing a lot of work out there, picking up a lot of trash because you got a lot of people that are home and you got time and it's like major spring cleaning, even though it's not really considered spring, but we really haven't hit full summer yet. But just be respectful of the trash that you're putting out at the curb, and don't kind of try to spread it out over weeks and not dump it all at the curb at the same time. It just makes it easier for the guys to get their jobs done more quickly. The concrete asphalt crews are busy working on the east side of town, performing concrete upgrades prior to aggregate the paving season. Notifications of the paving schedule will be delivered to the residents prior to working before they're performed. Just to be aware of additional construction sites in town as the construction crews have been working on the missing moves on the west side, and they're just slowed down just a little bit just to help those guys out. They seem to be moving really quickly through a lot of stuff that they're doing. And a special thanks to all our DPW workers being recognized during National Public Works Week, May 17th to the 23rd. And we appreciate their hard work and their dedication and their professionalism. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Paul. Councilman Casey.
All right, for the Water Division, I'm happy to report that the old water tower at Warren Avenue is been demolished, and that finished up yesterday. And so the eyesore is now gone, and we just have our one brand new tower. All that metal is going to be recycled and is on our 2020 recycling tonnage report. For the Warren Avenue treatment plant, green sand filtration system for the treatment plant is currently being replaced. The filter media removes the iron and particles from our water, and the PFNA Warren Avenue, that the ion resin filtration system for wells 3 and 6 has been installed and is currently being tested, and we're just waiting for the DEP to approve it. Alright, for sewer, once again, we're asking that the residents and businesses to only flush toilet paper down the toilet. We have been experiencing issues with stoppages and pumps due to the items such as rubber gloves and wipes in our sanitary sewers. I also would like to give a special thanks to all the DPW workers during the National Public Works Week. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you, Jamie. Councilman D'Angelo.
Thank you, Mayor. First, my thanks and the rec's thanks to the Public Works Department and the employees for they just completed the repaving of the tennis courts at the rec center. In a few weeks it'll be painted. We have to wait until the oils evaporate off the asphalt, but then that project will be completed, so my thanks go out to them. You'll see on the resolution list, there's a resolution to reject the bids for the restrooms and the batting cages. We're not abandoning the project, however, we need to discuss options to move forward. The rec department continues to maintain the properties that have been vacated and are still working on getting the fields ready for if and when the teams return this year. Finally, as Councilman Casey brought up, the water tower is down, and the pennant was also demolished this week. So two eyesores in town are gone. And finally, I would like to commend a couple of our police who were caught, I guess, in a situation, and they could be commended for their non-action. I thought they did a great job, and extremely proud of their response. And that's all I had. Thanks.
Thank you, Jim. Councilman Wilhelm.
Thank you, Mayor. For the court, the hearings have started up again virtually. They started on May 14th, and to date they've had 3 sessions for a total of 75 cases which have been heard. Standing by.
Go ahead, sorry.
Give me your scripture.
It's a lot of work for them to do this virtually, as you can imagine. So they are to be commended for their attempts in getting this done. The prosecutor and the public defender are working behind the scenes with defendants through emails, and then these cases are being put on the record. Surprisingly, the judiciary dropped in on them on their last session, and just to see how things were going, and commended the court for being one of the most fluid sessions that they've observed to date. So again, to our court administrator, we appreciate her efforts and our judge for getting things done in that respect. That's all I have.
Thank you, Craig. Councilman Haggerty.
Thank you, Mayor. Public safety departments are all working extremely hard during these times, and with some added food on their plate, you know, with different things, they handle themselves very professionally, and it was a job well done. And I'd also like to congratulate Sergeant Mader, who will be retiring June 1st, and thank him for his service to the borough. That's all, Mayor.
Thank you, Steve. Councilman Bider.
Thank you. Sorry. A couple of things financially. The budget will be adopted this evening, and the breakdown will be local plus 1.8 cents, county minus 1.6 cents, school local plus 2.5 cents, Black Horse Pike District minus 1.2 cents, for a total increase in the borough of plus 1.5 cents. Also, you're going to be receiving estimated tax bills for the third quarter. That's the first time Belmar has done it, but due to the delay in state budget, it was necessary to send out the estimated report. Also, just to give you a quick summary financially, so far we have spent $27,451 due to the pandemic that we're experiencing. Hopefully, majority, if not all of that money, will be given back to the borough through the applications of emergency management. So that was unexpected. However, as you remember, I had mentioned all of the department heads worked extremely hard to try to do essential spending only. And as you've heard reports through highway, etc., we spent a little more than anticipated because of cleanouts, etc. So our expenditures are comparable to last year, but the department heads have done a tremendous job. And I'd also like to thank all of the Belmar workers in every department for their dedication to keep things going. And finally, for those people that always see the cemetery with the flags put out by both VFWs, this year the state has not released the flags, will not be done until early to mid-June, at which time the remaining part of the cemetery will be done. However, a portion has been done through flags that were donated by just another citizen. That's all, Chuck.
Thank you, Ray. Under my report, sadly, we have to announce that the 4th of July parade, including the baby and bicycle parades, need to be canceled this year due to the continuing restrictions that we're based upon. Myself and members of council had to reach this unfortunate conclusion that a traditional celebration in Belmar, which attracts hundreds of people here and neighboring communities, cannot be held. It was a tough decision, but it was made with the guidance from both state and county officials. And we're disappointed that this had to take place, and that We are hoping that once all this pandemic is evolved and enough so that we can all get together for a townwide community event. We also have to announce that the Belmar Summer Youth Program and the Clean Communities Program, unfortunately, are canceled for the reason of no guidance yet from the governor's office on how to proceed with the summer camp, and that we have not received funding yet for the Clean Communities Program. We will have all this notification up on the website tomorrow. We mentioned it was a very tough decision, but be very hard to do. Also, again, I'd like to thank everyone as we continue, it seems like for the past 3 months being here. Thank you to the Office of Emergency Management, the EMS, police, fire, Public Works, and our employees for their continued support, dedication, and hard work during this pandemic we're going through. It is very much appreciated, and we could not do it without all of those involved. And lastly, tonight traditionally would have been our Student Government Day here in the Borough of Belmar. And this time I'd like to turn it over to Councilman D'Angelo, and we do have the names and the positions of what they would have been holding here tonight. Jim?
Thank you, Mayor. Sadly, we were unable to have the students in this year. It's always a highlight for everybody in the borough, actually. Everybody gets into the whole thing, the whole situation, and it's a shame we couldn't do it this year. But
Jim.
Meyer, sorry. But I'd like to read the names of the students and their positions for student government positions for 2020. The mayor would have been Caitlin Shad. Council members, Director of Public Safety would have been Emily Guerrero. Director of Recreation.
I don't think that one's working.
Better? Director of Recreation, Devin Hyman. Director of Finance, Stephen Schilder. Public Works, Sincere Thomas. Director of Communications, Bianca Mandrakia. And I hope I get these names right. Usually the kids are here and they can school me before we start. Director of Personnel, Jonathan Sitaram. The Borough Clerk, Olivia Popolak. Chief of Police, Giovanni Marone. The Fire Chief, Michael Lewis. Chief Financial Officer, John Keenan. Tax Collector, Tyler King. Superintendent of Water and Sewer, Nathan Wald. Superintendent of Highway, Mohammed Arif. Superintendent of Recreation, Brianna Wallace. The Court Administrator, Francis Radassa, and I hope I get this, Jaka. The Borough Attorney, Armagan Hassan, and the Borough Engineer is Zachary Foster. Hopefully sometime when this finally ends, we would like to have the students attend the meeting, but as of today, everything's still up in the air, so we'll keep everybody advised. Thank you. Thanks, sir.
Thank you. And we will issue then a proclamation with their position, and they will be delivered to the school for distribution to the students. Okay, at this time, I'd like to turn it over to our engineer, Steve Bach, for a report.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. We relied mostly on our written report that was provided and reviewed at caucus. Just to echo Councilman Casey's remarks regarding the Warren Avenue water treatment facility, we have 2 rounds of testing in for the PFNA removal system. Both rounds of testing successfully removed the PFNA well below the maximum concentration levels established by the DEP. In coordination with the Director of Public Works and the Superintendent of the Water Department, we have forwarded those results to DEP and are going to be coordinating as earnestly and as with the most amount of effort as possible to get a favorable review and release of the Warren Avenue treatment facility to come back online again until such time as DEP has formally approved and recognized the success of the treatment system. All of our water for our boroughs water system will continue to be provided by our Lehman Metal facility. Unless there's any questions, we'll rely on our written report.
Any questions? Okay. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
Now turn it over to Jim Burley, Emergency Management Coordinator, for an update.
All right, thank you, Mayor. As of today, 105 positives in the borough, total of 5 deaths. I'm staying right around that number over the last week or so. It's starting to man down, hopefully. But we're continuing to ensure that all the safeguards are in place for all of our employees and our residents. Our department is doing a fantastic job ensuring that those are followed out on a daily basis. Our personal protective equipment remains strong throughout the borough for our employees. Our PDA, the preliminary damage assessment that gets turned into FEMA for reimbursement that Councilman Boyer spoke about, was submitted and was approved for us to continue and to start uploading the documentation into the main document for reimbursement. So that'll be occurring over the next couple of weeks. We are working on a tentative plan ahead for the reopening of the Borough Hall. We don't know when that's going to be yet. There is some still guidance coming down as far as safeguards that would be installed, some equipment that might be in place, some markings on the floor, et cetera, for us to continue. So when that switch is pulled, that we're going to be able to open in a timely manner. We continue to hold conference calls with the members of the borough's emergency management staff on a routine basis to keep everybody in the line of communication open. And thus far, we keep moving ahead. Hopefully, we're starting to see some light at the end of the tunnel. That's it, Mayor.
Thank you, Jim. This time we will open up for the public portion of the meeting. Fran?
Everyone is unmuted on our end.
Okay, I just have Christian Canada. Can I poke my head in real quick?
Sure.
And I have 2 questions. One for either Councilman Haggerty or Steve Walsh. Can one of you tell me when John Mayer started with the police department?
I can jump in. He's at 22 years. So do the math, Chris.
That might be a problem.
98.
98.
And if you could just email me a copy of the student government list tomorrow, I'd greatly appreciate it.
Will do.
Thank you so much. That's all I got.
Thank you. Anyone else under public portion? Okay, hearing no response, at this time we'll close the public portion, and we'll go into old business.
Now?
Mayor, if I may, before we go into old business, or under old business, this is Howard Long, the borough solicitor, if I may.
Okay?
Thank you, Mayor. Members of council, I think this would be an appropriate time to discuss an item that we have on our agenda this evening. I believe it's 05:117-20, which is a resolution approving a redevelopment agreement between several different parties. I know we have on the line from the Delmar Redevelopment Agency, legal counsel Mike McKenna and Dave Weinstein, and I know that along with myself and Mr. Bach, we've been all working very hard to get us to this particular point. And I know some members of council have questions, they've reached out to me. I really do appreciate that because it's a lot of reading, it's a lot of materials, and based on the questions I received from a number of different council people, you all read it and you all took it very seriously, so I sincerely appreciate that. I would like to, if I can, just do, Mayor, with your permission, just have the floor for a second so that we can very, very briefly just provide an overarching view of where we are and where we think we're going. And I would ask David Weinstein from Archer Grider to initiate that discussion. Dave, you're on.
Yes, I am, thank you, and I appreciate everybody having me asked to speak with you. Had several opportunities to brief council on the agreement. At this point, we've made some final tweaks and changes, but the main part of the transaction still remains the same as it was when we last briefed council. The high-level view here is that this is a roadmap, a very complex roadmap, on a way to get a section of the borough redeveloped, hopefully, in the near term, but over time with a developer that is going to take on the challenge of a very challenging piece of property. I will say that it has not been the easiest negotiation, nor has it been free of tactics strangle, but we're in a place where we believe we've met all the requests and requirements that have been placed on us by various parties to try to get a deal that makes sense. I'm not going to go deep into this. What I prefer to say is that nothing has changed dramatically from the last presentation, and I would rather open it up to Mr. McKenna to just give anybody that needs a background as to how we got here, and then open up to any questions that you may have on this matter.
Would that be okay, Howard?
Thank you.
Yes, I'm happy to do that. Thank you, Mr. Long. Good evening, Mayor and Council, professional staff, and the public. I'm Mike McKenna. My involvement in this project goes back some 15 years when the council directed the planning board to do a study. That may have been in 2004, 2005, to determine whether this property was in fact suitable for redevelopment. We undertook the studies, held the public hearings, made recommendations, and the council accepted those recommendations. And since then, the council has clearly been the lead authority. Now, some 3 years ago, fast forwarding, my role expanded to assisting the late Mr. Messick with negotiating these contracts and doing due diligence as to whether the proposed transaction was even a good idea. Tonight, what you have before you is an agreement that represents the results of collective efforts of lots of folks, in particular council and the professional staff, maybe municipal employees. I know some of them are on the line tonight. I have to express appreciation, particularly the council, for the support they've given us in this process and the tools they've given us when we've asked them, whether it be from Mr. Weinstein of the Archer firm, the late Mr. Huber, the environmental expert from the same firm, whatever it was that we felt we needed as a tool to make sure, first, this was a deal worth doing, and then next to get it to where we have it tonight, where we're standing behind it and recommending it. We could not have done it had the council not given us the tools and had the patience for us to get it right. It took a while, but I never felt that we had to hurry up and deliver the product. It was always, come to us when you've got it right. We think we are there now. I had intended to let David talk about this because he had been on point, and for the last year or so, we brought him in because he is a redevelopment leasing expert, and he was invaluable. I had intended, for my part, to do an overview of the process, but when I saw Mr. Long's resolution today in its incredible detail, he clearly has read these documents. I do not see any need to bring the matter from the beginning, the book of Genesis, right to the present. Your resolution is extremely detailed and accurate in telling us what has happened. And in particular, and I do want to point this out, every single action, whether it be the planning board, mayor and council, or now the redevelopment agency, has been done in an open public meeting. I lost count when it reached in the 20s. So, for a casual observer, the public, they might say, well, this is from no, this has been in process and in public hearings for literally 15, 16 years with all those hearings. I would, though, like to address an anticipated question, something council asked me a couple of weeks ago, which is a really good question: where do we go from here? Assuming affirmative action tonight, the process going forward will have multiple components of effort required. Some of them are linear and sequential, in other words, one foot after the other. But others can proceed and should, just to move the process along on parallel tracks. Many of them are regulatory approvals and others are transactional. So with your permission, Mr. Long, without wearing anybody out, I'd like to go through it and just touch. And then if there's questions about which of these steps or any of these steps, by all means, just please, pound it. So first, type that.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If that's 2 minute touch, I'm all in agreement.
I can talk fast, but again, yeah, all we're doing is NJDEP first. We have the pilot grant, permanent revision, the release of the HDSRF fee, which is a DEP matter, Green Acres approvals, solid waste final approvals. That's as the DEP. We've got NJDOT roadway issues, municipal and county approvals. We've got utilities and infrastructure, in which our folks here in the borough will be interfacing with the redeveloper or how and when and what they need. And lastly, there's the legal and transactional requirements. The agency has to go next, which is consistent with the primacy of the council. We have title transfers, we have end user transactions. All of these council will be intimately involved in, and a fair number of them. Mr. Long and company will probably be on point, particularly like the interlocal agreement with Denver. Trying to do it in 2 minutes, folks. There's lots to be done, but tonight is a pivotal night. It's a go, no-go night, and I really appreciate the patience with us as we try to get this in the shape that I can stand behind, and we've done that.
Thank you, Mr. McKenna. That's much appreciated. If I could, I would really like to call on our borough engineer. When I was trying to get my arms around this agreement and understand the 15-year history of how we got to today, I read the agreement. I talked to Mr. McKenna. I talked to Mr. Weinstein. I reviewed the exhibits. I talked to members of council who had recollections. But where it all came together for me is when Mr. Bach sat in one of our workshops and started from the beginning and brought us to the end after having reviewed the documents over a weekend, and it just hit home. It just all connected for me as to where it is, where it's going, and the big picture. So Steve, I thank you for that, because you did provide a significant degree of clarity for me. And I know in the last week you've been eagerly dealing with some concerns that were raised by council last week. So why don't you, Steve, if you don't mind, focus your remarks on the things that you've done?
Yes, and I'll just summarize and be brief. So, if you recall, when I reported to Mayor Council on this matter on several occasions, there were a few clarifications and points that I wanted to review, obviously with our solicitor and also with the attorneys for the redeveloper and the redevelopment agency. All the concerns that I raised before Mayor and Council, I believe have been addressed, at least speaking in terms of the items that I brought up as concerns mainly on the engineering and the practical side. And the other portion, if you recall in our recent caucus meeting, there were some outstanding and I believe just items that need to be addressed regarding the Green Acres waterfront park or the nature trail that's going to be constructed as part of this overall project. I've worked diligently and I hope I have been able to have the exhibits, now a nine-sheet plan set exhibit for the park/trail more accurately reflect the stakeholders' meeting minutes, more specifically in terms of representatives of the borough. So at this point, I believe, at least from review of the documents, that all my concerns that I raised for mayor and council have now been addressed. And we just, you know, as was indicated, we leave the mayor and council, for their deliberations.
Thank you, Steve. I really appreciate that. Just sort of wrap it up and then just throw it up to Mayor and Council for questions. You know, like Mr. McKenna mentioned, you know, the start of this thing, that was actually March 22nd, 2005, which was over 15 years ago. I was brought in about 9 months ago to start to take a look at this situation, and the first meeting I went to was a meeting that Mr. McKenna and Mr. Weinstein came to just to discuss an overview of this agreement. And so I had the ability to have a fresh set of eyes on it, and someone who's also done a number of other redevelopment agreements in a bunch of other municipalities. They are not easy to do, and it was obvious that a lot of time and effort by a lot of people went into this agreement. And there was disagreement between the parties to the agreement, between the members of council with each other on certain points, as well as the mayor. But that kind of debate is healthy, and it really breeds, in my opinion, a better agreement for all. One of my mentors once said that if both parties walk away a little disappointed that they didn't get anything, it's probably a pretty good deal. And I think the overarching issue for me is the liability protection that this would certainly provide the borough for growth. So you'll note in there that this isn't the end of the day. I did put in there, subject to final review of all the final exhibits being attached together by the borough solicitor, myself. So before we bless it and send it off for others to decide, we'll have that. But, you know, my recommendation, I think it's a good document for the town. I know Councilman D'Angelo has been on the phone with me constantly in the past week asking questions. Councilman, I want you to know that I posed those questions to Mr. Weinstein and asked him to be prepared for your questions this evening so that they can be addressed coherently and directly, and so he's familiar with where you may be going. But at this point, my recommendation that we do move forward. It's time. I think it's good for the borough, and at this point, Mayor, I'll turn it back to you for any questions that you or council may have on the agreement.
Okay, thank you. Question?
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Councilman D'Angelo here. Well, I guess you're aware of my question. Years ago, I need clarification here. Years ago, there was a sum thrown out at, I believe it was $19 million, and it was a loan, and that loan, I believe, was for the stormwater culvert that runs down 42 that was replaced by the developer. I need clarification as to when we sign this agreement, what happens to that loan? And who is responsible to pay it back?
So, David Weinstein, that's an excellent question, and it's two separate concepts. One is a culvert that was put in, that had to be constructed, it was actually deteriorating, had to get reconstructed, that was done, and the developer has agreed through the payments under the site lease, that they're going to reimburse the municipality, in the prior version, $1.5 million, and they were going to pay a sum of a percentage of gross rent under the site lease. The revised version actually increases the amount of money that the borough is going to be receiving and takes out the $1.5 million flood number, but increases the percentage rent. So you're still receiving that money, but it's a higher percentage rent over a longer term. So they agree to pay you more money. As far as the $19 million, it's actually a lien that when redevelopment agency takes title to the property, that goes away by operation of law. When the DEP has confirmed with us that upon the property being held, and this is one of the reasons that the property is all going to be held by the redevelopment agency, amongst others, is that that lien will extinguish by operation of law and go away, so that nobody has to pay. It actually is removed as one of the entry points to how the entire project can move forward, in order to try to make it so the developer can develop it and the borough can receive what it's looking for there. And Mr. Weinstein, if I could just follow up a second, we have confirmation from the DEP on that fact, correct? That is correct, we do. And also, the it's not dependent upon the ultimate viability of the redeveloper. Is that also correct? That is also correct. That goes away as soon as the deed is conveyed for the property to the redevelopment agency. At that point in time, we transmit copies of those deeds to the DEP, and they will remove the lien.
Okay, very good. Thank you for the answer. I stand corrected.
Sorry for jumping in.
No, thank you. Thanks for the answer. I appreciate the clarification. So, when everything's said and done, the residents of Belmar will not be responsible for this $19 million, and that's really the only thing I wanted to know. That's all I have. Thank you.
Correct.
Any other questions? Okay. Thank you to Howard, Steve, Mike, and Dave for their input tonight for that resolution. Much appreciated. Okay, we will. Any other old business? We'll move on now to new business. Fran?
Okay. We have second reading, public hearing adoption for ordinance 04:0920, cost of living adjustment ordinance allowing the Borough of Belmar to increase the budget appropriations an additional 3% over the previous year appropriation amount. It also allows the borough to bank the amount that is not used in this year's budget.
Okay, we'll open that up for public portion. Anyone from the public on that ordinance? Hearing none, entertain a motion for adoption.
So moved. Second.
Motion made and second, roll call.
Councilman DeAngelis?
Yes.
Councilman Casey?
Yes.
Councilman D'Angelo?
Yes.
Councilman Wilhelm?
Yes.
Councilman Hagerty?
Yes.
Councilman Bider?
Yes.
Second reading, public hearing adoption for ordinance 041020, bond ordinance, authorizing the completion of various road improvements in and for the Borough of Belmar, County of Camden, State of New Jersey, authorizing the issuance of general obligation bonds or bond anticipation notes in the principal amount of up to $501,408, making a certain determination, authorizing certain related actions in connections with foregoing.
This time I open up to the public portion. Any comment from the public on this ordinance? Hearing no comment, entertain the motion for adoption.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and second. Roll call, Fran?
Councilman DeAngelis?
Yes.
Councilman Casey?
Yes.
Councilman D'Angelo?
Yes.
Councilman Wilhelm?
Yes.
Councilman Hagerty?
Yes.
Councilman Bider?
Yes.
Second reading, public hearing adoption, ordinance 041120, amending the 2020 salary ordinance.
opened up for a public portion on this particular ordinance. Hearing no response from the public, entertain a motion for adoption.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, Fran?
Councilman DeAngelis?
Yes.
Councilman Casey?
Yes.
Councilman D'Angelo?
Yes.
Councilman Wilhelm?
Yes.
Councilman Hagerty?
Yes.
Councilman Bider?
Yes.
Turn the volume.
We have resolution 05106-22 and through 0511120.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and second, roll call?
Councilman DeAngelis?
Yes.
Councilman Casey?
Yes.
Councilman D'Angelo?
Yes.
Councilman Wilhelm?
Yes.
Councilman Hagerty?
Yes.
Councilman Bider?
Yes.
Resolution 0511220, appointment of sergeant for the Belmar Police Department.
I'd like to place the name of Artie G. Tessier as sergeant.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and second, roll call?
Councilman DeAngelis?
Yes.
Councilman Casey?
Yes.
Councilman D'Angelo?
Yes.
Councilman Wilhelm?
Yes.
Councilman Hagerty?
Yes.
Councilman Bider?
Yes.
Resolution 0511320, appointment of corporal for the Belmar Police Department.
I'd like to place the name of Brian K. Erdl for the position of corporal.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and second, roll call, Fran?
Councilman DeAngelis?
Yes.
Councilman Casey?
Yes.
Councilman D'Angelo?
Yes.
Councilman Wilhelm?
Yes.
Councilman Hagerty?
Yes.
Councilman Bider?
Yes.
Next, we have resolution 0511420, resolution to re-budget 2020 by Fatal and Light.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and second, roll call?
Councilman DeAngelis?
Yes.
Councilman Casey?
Yes.
Councilman D'Angelo?
Yes.
Councilman Wilhelm?
Yes.
Councilman Hagerty?
Yes.
Councilman Bider?
Yes.
Resolution 0511520, adoption of the municipal budget 2020.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and second, roll call?
Councilman DeAngelis?
Yes.
Councilman Casey?
Yes.
Councilman D'Angelo?
Yes.
Councilman Wilhelm?
Yes.
Councilman Hagerty?
Yes.
Councilman Bider?
Yes.
Resolution 0511620, authorizing amending capital budget 2020.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and second, roll call?
Councilman DeAngelis?
Yes.
Councilman Casey?
Yes.
Councilman D'Angelo?
Yes.
Councilman Wilhelm?
Yes.
Councilman Hagerty?
Yes.
Councilman Bider?
Yes.
Resolution 0511720, authorizing and approving redevelopment agreement between the Borough of Belmar, the Belmar Redevelopment Agency, the Big Timber LLC, and the Belmar Waterfront LLC.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and second, roll call?
Councilman DeAngelis?
Yes.
Councilman Casey?
Yes.
Councilman D'Angelo?
No.
Councilman Wilhelm?
Yes.
Councilman Hagerty?
Yes.
Councilman Bider?
Yes.
Resolution 0511820, resolution of the Borough of Belmar, County of Camden, and State of New Jersey in support of Senate Bill S. 2475 and Assembly Bill A. 3971, authorizing the issuance of coronavirus relief bonds by municipalities and counties.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and second, roll call?
Councilman DeAngelis?
Yes.
Councilman Casey?
Yes.
Councilman D'Angelo?
Yes.
Councilman Wilhelm?
Yes.
Councilman Hagerty?
Yes.
Councilman Bider?
Yes.
Resolution 0511920, authorizing payment of bills for May of 2020.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and second, roll call?
Councilman DeAngelis?
Yes.
Councilman Casey?
Yes.
Councilman D'Angelo?
Yes.
Councilman Wilhelm?
Yes.
Councilman Hagerty?
Yes.
Councilman Bider?
Yes.
We have first reading introduction for ordinances 051220. Ordinance amending chapter 450, part 1, article 3, 450-21A and B, as well as implementing certain associated charges in chapter 210, C. of the Code of the Borough of Belmar, County of Camden, State of New Jersey, currently entitled Water Rates.
Motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman DeAngelis,
Yes.
Councilman Haggard, or I'm sorry,
Yes.
Councilman Casey.
Yes.
Councilman D'Angelo.
Yes.
Councilman Wilhelm.
Yes.
Councilman Hagan.
Yes.
Councilman Bider.
Yes.
First reading, introduction for ordinance 05-1320. Ordinance appropriating the sum of $18,868,875, authorizing issuance of general obligation bonds or bond anticipation notes of the Borough of Belmar, County of Camden, State of New Jersey. Principal amount is $17,471,176 to provide for the acquisition of various pieces of capital equipment and to complete various capital improvements previously authorized, superseding numerous bond ordinances therefore adopted by the borough, making certain determinations and authorizing certain related actions in connection with the foregoing.
Motion?
So moved.
Second.
Councilman DeAngelis.
Yes.
Councilman Casey.
Yes.
Councilman D'Angelo.
Yes.
Councilman Wilhelm.
Yes.
Councilman Haggerty.
Yes.
Councilman Bider.
Yes.
Ordinance 05-1420, first reading. Bond ordinance authorizing the acquisition of various capital equipment and the completion of various capital improvements in and for the Borough of Belmar, County of Camden, State of New Jersey, authorizing the issuance of general obligation bonds or bond anticipation notes of the Borough of Belmar, County of Camden, State of New Jersey. And principal amount is up to $1,458,250, making certain determinations and convenience and authorizing certain related actions in connections with the foregoing.
So moved.
Motion?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman DeAngelis.
Yes.
Councilman Casey.
Yes.
Councilman D'Angelo.
Yes.
Councilman Wilhelm.
Yes.
Councilman Haggerty.
Yes.
Councilman Bider.
Yes.
Last. Bond ordinance 05-1520, first reading. Bond ordinance authorizing the completion of various capital improvements for the water utility system in and for the Borough of Belmar, County of Camden, State of New Jersey, appropriating the sum of $1,050,000, therefore authorizing the issuance of general obligation bond or bonds anticipating notes of the Borough of Belmar, County of Camden, State of New Jersey, the principal amount of up to $1,050,000, making certain determinations and convenience and authorizing certain related actions in connections with the foregoing.
Motion?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman DeAngelis.
Yes.
Councilman Casey.
Yes.
Councilman D'Angelo.
Yes.
Councilman Wilhelm.
Yes.
Councilman Haggerty.
Yes.
Councilman Bider.
Yes.
That's all I have, sir.
There being no further business, entertain a motion for adjournment.
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all for attending.